The very first time, that I got actually high was I was out of high school, but like just barely.
You didn't get high until out of high school?
No, I mean I got high in high school, but like
high.
You like sneak through the bushes and smoke out of one of those like pipes you get from a fairground that are like threaded with those like
the metal one.
Yeah. And you like have some hoots or whatever, or smoke like part of a terribly rolled joint that's been in somebody's backpack or pocket all day. And I never got like stoned. I remember one time being like a little like goofy in class, and I just kind of laid there, and luckily we watched a movie. But the first time I got like, holy crap, I'm altered, was at a guy that worked for my dad, worked in the kitchen, and I went over there to hang out after one night, and he used to work for a glass shop, and so he had a zong that he made out of glass while working there, the scraps. So it was a big square box of glass that a platform, and then came up, and then he had the box inside of it that was all made out of glass too. Came to a point, and he had a custom made bowl and stuff, and it was really neat, and I never seen anything like that.
Of course not.
And they loaded it up, and I took it all, and I thought it was flying. Like, I had no idea that my legs were touching the ground at any point in time for the rest of that day. I was floating. I was like, it's like the TV shows when they're like lying on a cloud going by. And then that was like I actually felt that one that time. That was the first time with that. And it was crazy.
You're right though. Similar. The first time I got high, I didn't get high per se. But the first time I was high, man, I will never forget it, man. We were sitting in my buddy's. It was like a Cutlass or something, like an Oldsmobile Cutlass.
Yeah.
And he had, I'll never forget, it was like that nice red carpet interior, and he had this stereo system that was just like banging, man. It was so awesome. And we had just got high, like just blazed just outside of the school, and then we decided we were going to drive into the city, probably from like McDonald's or something. And man, I remember when the bass hit, and you could like see the smoke in the car because it was like a hot summer day, and the air was like stagnant, and when the bass bumped, you could see the smoke like, it was crazy. And I remember feeling the high from like my toes to like the tip of my head, just like every follicle,
full body experience.
Yeah, man. Oh, it was so crazy. So I knew right away that good tokes and good music went hand in hand. That shit spoke to you, man.
That's another part of that. I forgot. He also had like a crazy big sound system, like huge speakers. And it was like a handful of guys that lived in this house, and it was like, it was exactly what he thought it was. It was a hole.
Yeah.
But they're, a bunch of young guys, and some of them had jobs, so there was disposable income, and so they had this great sound system, and they played I know the song, but I can't remember its name. It's one of those terrible things where I've smoked just enough not to recall all the memory. It's by The Who, but it was the Limp Bizkit version.
Oh, okay.
I can remember the name of the song.
I don't know. The Who.
No one knows what it's like. No one knows what it's like.
Oh yeah, Blue Eyes. That's the Limp Bizkit.
Is that what it's called?
I'm pretty sure Blue Eyes.
No. I'm gonna hate myself for this. My wife's laughing because she knows all I want to do is just Google this.
Blue Eyes, Deep Blue Eyes, something. Yeah, I know exactly I know what song you're thinking of. Now. Anyways, but yeah, music and weed, man, they go hand in hand. And man, I think I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for good tokes, man, and music to go along with it, man. That's what saved me. I got a T-shirt on my merch store actually that says "Music raised me, cannabis saved me," and it's kind of the truth. It's kind of the truth because there's a lot of story that goes into, or a lot of art and a lot of things that go into the perception or art or music, and then it's like it takes good smoke to like pull it out. As a listener.
Yeah, I mean, all the fun times when you're like younger, going to like parties and shit, or hanging out. It's the music, it's the weed,
Yeah,
and then it's everything that happens around that.
Yeah,
right. Like that's the basis of whatever is going on. Music was in the background.
Have you ever had it where
chilling and talking?
You ever had like a bad song or a bad movie playing and it like ruins your high?
I'm way too easy going for that shit.
So yes, yeah. Or
no. Because it's just like I don't know. I have too much control over what I'm consuming.
Yeah. It's not like I've never had that for her, but like mushrooms.
Oh,
like
mushrooms, those are different situations.
Yeah. Mushrooms. If it's like a bad movie or a bad song, it can really dictate the trip. Never had it with weed though, per se.
I did.
Just always had good weed.
I've had some acid experiences that they should have been more stressful than they were, but I've always done like things have worked out well.
Yeah.
And the interactions worked out, and then you just
what was the first time you tried mushrooms?
Mushrooms. The first time was at Tyler's house.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been
the
wicked.
one farmhouse where him and his brother lived.
Yep.
Mutual friend.
And
yes, Lloyd was over.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny was over.
Yeah.
And I think you might have been there. I can't remember. We watched Inception.
Nope.
And it was the very first time I'd ever seen it.
Yeah, what a hell of a time to watch that movie.
Yeah, and it totally took me, like, the whole experience totally took me by surprise. We made, like, a crap ton of tea. I had, like, a espresso percolator for espresso. And we just, like, ground it up and, like, packed it and just, like, kept making tea. And we were just, like, manning up and chugging it.
Yeah.
And
manning up.
Yeah.
What it takes to be
What a terrible expression, yeah. We were not doing that. We were drinking this tea and like chugging it down, and it was just terrible. But like, yeah, Inception. That was the craziest thing because I wasn't expecting. I had no idea. For some reason, I hadn't heard of the movie, and then they're like, "Yeah, somebody had already seen it. Yeah, let's watch this. It was great. We had to watch this." And then I was like, "What the shit?" And then all of a sudden, like the movie ends, and you're like, "Oh, it was a movie."
Sweat.
Right. Yeah. That was great. That was a great movie. It was probably a good time. First time for mushrooms. My first time for acid too was a really good situation. It was a random. I just gave a friend a ride home, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna be hanging out with people doing acid tonight. I've got extra, just if you want to stick around." I was like, "Yes, do I?" And he was at his parents' place while they were gone. He was house sitting, and it was like they had a big pool off their deck and a hot tub. They were farmers with $1 or $2, and they had a really nice spread. And so we had it all to ourselves, and it was like at the night, and we were like on the trampoline, and then like in the hot tub for a while, and then you're in the pool for a while, and just the transitioning, music's playing the whole night, and it was just such a crazy experience. It was again another thing that just like I said yes to the opportunity.
Perfect. Yep.
Yeah, and then it was just, and then that's one thing I've been both lucky. I don't know if I've consciously made those decisions, but setting is such an important thing and feeling comfortable. And I've been lucky that I've been in those situations both times, comfortable with the people I'm around in smaller settings. I didn't do anything too crazy, and it just gave me the opportunity to like really enjoy those things. And that was the same thing too, I think, with weed. It was just the people I was doing it with. It was having these positive interactions, these positive conversations. and I more and more and more liked myself as being part of that, and then also the people that I was getting to interact with as well too.
Yeah, I totally
And I mean, as well for psychedelics, like it's just
agree.
people get it, you know.
Yeah,
It's
right,
nice.
right.
It's nice when like you get it.
Yes, to do with someone too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that shared thing.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, first time that I used mushrooms, I was at my buddy's. It was like a reunion almost. It was like a family reunion, and he had uncles and whatever, and what have you, that showed up, and his cousin shows up, and it starts to get dark, and all the parents are heading in, all the kids are still outside, and he's like, "Come here, guys, come on." So we all go in a tent. He's got this massive lunch, like a brown paper bag, full, like what seemed full of mushrooms, and he's like, "Let's eat these up," and we're like, "Yeah." Of course. So we divvies up everybody a little bit. I think it was like an eighth or so each. And there was like 5 or 6 kids of us that were there. And well, kids, we would have been like 16 or so, 15, 16. And it ends up getting pitch black outside. And because we're in the middle of nowhere. And oh my God, the trip, we were in the woods and we ran for so long. It was like it's crazy because when you do like when the psychedelics hit when you're in the dark, there's more shit to see in the dark than there is to see in the light.
Man, like the nature, that's the thing. The start being out in the country, that was another great thing. Is you saw stars. I was in the middle of nowhere, kilometers from other houses. So it was
light pollution whatsoever.
Yeah, really Canadian myself.
Yeah, right.
But it just no light pollution anywhere, and just getting that in like beautiful summer night where it's like 25 at night or something, and you're able to walk around, going in and out of the water, and all. Like it was just, couldn't you ask for more perfect experience? People paid to go to resorts to do that shit.
Setting is so important, and
there's nothing more important.
The people with you are just as important because you can be in a great setting, but with shitty people that are just going to make this just a horrible experience.
Yeah,
especially people like if you don't trust them, or if you've got like just issues with you have to be with people that you really love, that you trust, that like if you do something ridiculously stupid, they're not going to hold it against you. They're going to poke fun on you for the rest of your life, but they're not going to judge, you know what I mean, hold it against you, judge, streaking naked down the street.
And there's really not even a lot of odds of you doing anything that crazy unless you're taking such crazy doses.
I've been there.
And you know, like it's just, that's going there's so many it's just with the edible market. And what's nice about it needs to increase like the levels we have in Canada.
Is it still 10%?
10 milligrams per package.
10 milligrams per
package. Is what the Canadian law is.
Ridiculous, bro.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's super unfortunate. I think
fart.
Yeah.
More.
Yeah, like that's like to me that's like taking a regular strength Tylenol. Like I understand I ingested something.
2 extra strengths.
That's the one thing I can say with the legal portion of it is like a 10 milligram. I can go, I can understand I took something if I really pay attention to it and don't smoke anything.
Yeah, right.
You know, under like those conditions, then I can. But I've eaten a 500 milligram nerd covered thing that I've like not felt anything.
Right.
And then had a weird colored pee the next day.
Right.
So it's just, I don't know. That thing, at least some consistency I like out of it. But I mean, 10 milligrams is crazy because how many packages am I going to buy?
Yeah, that's the point, right?
Right. Hundreds of dollars for one experience? That seems crazy.
That's the point. It is.
But you buy a bottle of oil for like $30 to $40 and get like 900 milligrams in the bottle.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Why? So then, like I get it's because it's an attractive to kids situation like that, but like we have so many contradictions with the alcohol industry. It's crazy. I think a lot of these things are inevitabilities. There's no way, like, cat's out of the bag. This is a money-making industry. Yeah, it was actually 5 point some billion.
Yeah,
I think it
huge.
just was. Yeah. But it's for Canada, anyways, and it's like these things. I think about advertising, you know, and unless we switch, because after all of this betting stuff that's going on, if you watch hockey in this country or sports in general, now that that's legal, like it's everywhere, and it's just like you only hold that stuff out so long, and then the market kind of decides what we're going to do about it. And I think that that's just to come, because we can't keep having Hockey Night in Canada brought to you by
Most Canadian.
Right.
But it will be, I don't think things are going to change, to be honest. It feels like they're going to go backwards. Like, they just went so harsh on Herb just because they've been so lax on it.
But there's so much pushback. Like, both in this province, things that are changing on a taxation standpoint, on like a functional standpoint, have changed and are continuing to change so much. The people that are running this just didn't get it in the first place, and now it's just about peeling back the layers and making them understand. Because that's the thing, is like giving proof. And the big companies are sinking a lot of money into that. Like, the beverage thing's already happened. You couldn't buy more than a 5 or 6 at a time of the beverages because of the way they had the dry herb equivalents,
Right.
which is crazy because, again, for those, same thing, 10 milligrams per drink is the max. So 6 of them, 60 milligrams, and you know what? You're honestly, even a seasoned smoker, you drink those, you're going to feel something out of that. And they're great supplements. Like, I don't not smoke when I drink those, but I do have started enjoying those on the barbecue days, where I'll just drink those and then smoke some joints and stuff and what have you. Or make cocktails. It's fun.
Yeah.
But now you can buy like 48 drinks.
Right.
Because the government's like, oh, this is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Now we get it. Took them a little while.
Yeah, 3 years. Yeah,
Right.
2 years.
But like, it's going to get there.
Yeah, ironed it out. It's just so brutal, man.
Yeah.
Brutal weight.
I'm just one of the people that, like, we're going to work on it. The people that have the resources are going to push at these things, and like they have to because they've got the dollar to do it.
Yeah.
And we're going to see progress because, like, a lot of the things we want are in line with the financial incentives of a lot of the big companies. And they want to sell to more people. And the country, for the most part, is still 50-50 legal or on the legacy side of things in terms of purchasing. By most reports of most countries, it varies province to province.
Yeah,
but
a lot of people.
Manitoba is one of the strongest, actually, for like switch over.
Yeah.
Ontario's like pretty 50-50. And there's still a lot of opportunity there. And a lot of that is that they just don't have the things that they're able to get, period. Pricing is becoming less and less of an issue, and now it's becoming more and more of like, do you have the offerings? Do you have these high THC edibles and all that other stuff? And it's just going to happen. Yeah,
due time. Like I said, we'll peel back the layers and get in there, and then finally make some change. It'll happen, and then the right people will be making the changes. And yeah, it's just a matter of just breaking down the system that's already started to be created. And it'll happen. Yep, it'll happen. So, smoking weed, you do anything fucking wild? Anything just crazy? You smoke any crazy places?
Crazy places?
I've smoked in like a courthouse.
Not smoked in a courthouse.
I was constructing it. We were building putting the roof on an elevator shaft.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. In order halfway through the day to keep myself motivated, I'd have to go downstairs. And like court was still in session, so yeah, we had to. I used to keep like a little kit on me. I used to wear like a big set of coveralls, and I'd keep like a little spray can of Febreze, like a little personal spray bottle. I don't know what you call it, canister. And I'd have like my one hooter or my bat and my dugout, and I would just let her rock in there, and I'd end up blowing it out. I'd keep a toilet paper roll with some bounce sheets in there, and pop. Nobody knew a thing. Yeah, nobody knew a thing. But yeah, I know there's not too many people out there that can say they took in the courthouse, but
no,
that's what I'm taking with me. That's what I'm taking with me.
I've done it. I mean, it's not that it's that unique depending on where you live, but like while combining, it's kind of like driving a spaceship. So that's always really neat, you know. That's a neat experience in the middle of the night when you're doing weed or something. It's just like all you see is the headlights amount, and it's just like these waves in front of you, and you're hotboxing your combine, and terrible stories.
Yeah, very Canadian of you.
Very unique. Yeah.
Very prairies.
Friends, not even my parents, just friends access. You know, summer jobs.
Summer jobs.
Yeah, it's fun.
Summer jobs.
It's fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if there'd be any other place crazy.
What's the worst thing you've ever smoked out of?
Oh, I mean, for my long-term health, me and a mutual friend built like a kind of hookah style thing out of a water jug, and then it had a bowl and with a slide that went down into it. We had two hoses coming out of this. All the parts were got from the farm shop at the farm we were working at the time.
Yeah.
So the bowl was that galvanized metal, that like a cap screw for the end of something.
Yeah.
And then we drilled it. We took it in the drill press and we drilled the hole at the bottom and screens and all this stuff. But like again, galvanized metal. So
Not
like
smart. Yeah.
not smart. Yeah, like and then heating that, right? And then smoking out of that. And then we used that for a while, but there was no way when we sealed the top, we used like an adhesive stuff that we found. And so it was sealed. So there was no cleaning it. So we just basically one day had to like make the decision like we should stop.
It's done.
It's done, and then just
It's
throw
gone.
it out. And it just, it was fun for the one night, and then we shouldn't have smoked out of it for a while. It didn't last that long, but it was like that's the thing where I'm like, if I get cancer,
Yeah,
that's what it was at.
It was that.
It was
moment.
that. It was that moment.
It was that moment. I smoked. I took like a rubber eraser and I like carved out a bowl and I carved a hole into it and I like smoked out of a rubber eraser. Yeah,
that one's probably got residual effects. I did a bowling pin.
I have this weird tick.
I
have been able to get rid of it.
I don't know where that comes from.
I don't know. I can't explain it.
Yeah, like a bowling pin. That one was
You smoked out a bowling pin?
Yeah, I drilled in this
Bro,
because they have holes
that's
at the
pretty
top
epic.
and bottom, and on the side I just drilled a hole and then put one of those like terrible little cheap pipes.
Yeah.
Just screwed it in.
Yep.
And then the bottom is a shotgun, so you
Let
hold
it
your
go.
finger in it. And then
That's genius.
no, I'm not
That's
sure if that specific type of plastic is like a good food safe thing, but
Nope.
it
Nope,
was fun
probably
for
not.
a little bit.
No, probably not. Shipped
Yeah.
from some Chinese province
Yeah,
somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I was on a track and field event, and I was with the grade below me because I didn't graduate on time. And I remember going to a hotel, and I was the only kid that I would talk to because everybody was younger than me. And I didn't have any. I brought some weed, but I didn't have anything to smoke out of. So I just took an old pen, plastic Bic or whatever they were, and I popped the end off, and I took it. And I just packed weed right into the end of the pen and just
the other side.
just moved out the other side.
Yeah, there's another plastic in here.
Little bit of plastic.
Little bit of plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might explain some issues that I have,
Mm.
but I haven't quite pinpointed it yet.
Yeah, there's a couple of those decisions.
Yeah, and then like some people say that like the glass that you smoke out of, none of the glass we have here because it's fine premium glass. But no, I'm just joking. The paint, there's not only the paint in the glass, but there's chemicals in the glass that when heated up, it gives off toxins as well. I never knew that. I'm gonna dive into that to see if there's more like evidence or
That's
something.
interesting.
Something to consider. But I do know that like with like some of these pieces in particular, not these ones, but some pieces that I've had is what
That
even
sugar
just
glass that like
it
that
just
sounds
shakes
like-
off.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's a thin glass too.
Yep.
when it falls
And it's on
apart,
the
yeah.
bowl. Like it's the bowl too. So
Mm.
like I'm assuming that paint or that stuff's coming off, But
Somewhere in the process.
yeah.
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 I wonder. The vast majority these days, like I have desktop vape, and a riser is the one that's like the daily driver for me and my wife at home.
Is it a riser?
Yeah,
Is that
they're a Canadian company too, actually. Riser, like they have the Solo, the Argos, the new portable one. I've got that. That's what I use for the way out here. And there's like another model, but yeah, they're the Extreme Q. I've had it for quite a few years. It's got the whip and the bag. That thing is what we live off of. And then like lots of joints. That's
Lots of
the other
joints.
thing. Yeah. My big bong nowadays only ever comes out. The big bong axis is here. Because I never smoke out of the big one. It's I got my e-nail sitting on it.
Mm-hmm.
So when I have concentrates around, then it comes out for that. Because like when it's dabs, I love the big bong for nice
Yeah.
big dabs.
Yeah.
But like
I got some dabs for you, boy.
past that, yeah, right. I saw what I was charging. Watching your
It's actually
Instagram,
right here.
your visions.
For those that are wondering, if you're watching this on YouTube, this is lip balm. If you're listening to this on audio platforms, it's actually rosin. Some GMO. And I'm gonna put that lid on, do a little, and then you do it. Oh, yeah, it's some good stuff. I really like that. It just hits different on that nose, man. Right?
So citrusy.
Whew. It's just like woof. And that's after having it opened 1.5 million times today.
Right.
Just on one Instagram live, I had this thing open like 20 times because I was just soaked up. But
You're burping it.
Yeah, I was burping it. But yeah, my primary methods these days are the glass, man. It's all bong for me. Bong, 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 bong. As you can see, these are all my pieces, but not all of them. Some of my pieces, but man, I just love a good, clean glass piece. Good draw, a little bit of water, percolate that. Man, I'm old fashioned, so I'll even put a little ice in there. And I know in the comments section, I always, people are like, you're gonna get ice in your lungs. Bitch, I'm from northern Manitoba, Canada.
Yeah,
it was ice fog around
here. It was minus 35 this morning or something. Yeah.
There's plenty of ice in my lungs.
Yeah.
It's ice in my veins too, but we get over it. But I'm a glass guy, man. When it comes to concentrates, I got that G Pen Connect desktop little piece. It's so cool. There's somewhere. It's a nice little piece. Pack that up. Gives it a nice draw. It'll keep you like coasting, but it doesn't get you high, Yeah. It'll keep you going, but
that's like with the, especially like for your friends over, like you just come over and stuff, and then it's there, it's available, the dabs are on demand, and you just leave it on for a little while, like it's not the end of the world. But everybody's just got on-demand dabs whenever you feel like
dabs. It's so nice.
Yeah.
It's just sitting right
It's about as automated as you can get. Just put it into your body.
Yep.
Inhale.
Yeah, I broke a bong that way actually because I took the email cord and I wrapped it around my chair and it like slid off. And I made a whole thing. Yeah. Well,
Maybe not the best.
Yeah, but mainly glass. But curious what you guys are thinking. What do you guys smoke out of? When was the first time you got high? Did the first time you consumed? Did you even get high? Because you didn't, right?
No. Like it took a couple times before I like really get that big kick.
Yeah, and that was the same with me. Cause first time I took, I didn't really feel it, and I was like having more. Like they were like, try more, and I was like, nothing, man.
Yeah, but it's such a funny thing because once you have that big first experience, like this is something that's going to become part of my life now.
Yeah,
it was just like to the point of like influencing on relationships and like things that happen with that because. The baggage from even with my wife, she had a negative connotation with a guy that smoked a lot of weed based off of her ex. So
right.
We were pretty young when we got together, but like it was still like an issue from there. And I'm like, so here's the thing. I'm pretty hyperactive.
I'm a bit of a pothead.
And like I don't sit really well. So it's not a problem. This isn't gonna be the issue out of all of this. But like that was the thing that went on early on in our relationship because like just the view she had, the experience she had so far. And then what's funny too is like the reality of the situation is now it's a career thing. Right? Like it's totally different.
The center of your family system.
Right. Like this is how we eat and all that fun stuff.
That's it. Yeah.
And just like with you, like it's ingrained into the daily thing. Work gets into so many parts of people's lives as it is. Mm-hmm. And then for us, work is something that like is already part of what we're dealing with every day, right? Like it's part of our interactions, it's part of our experiences, our relationships with other people, our wives, the whole nine yards, right? And then, dealing with that portion, having kids, and what that goes along with it. Right?
That's it. And then, like, that's kind of why I wanted like this whole podcast to exist because, you can be a dad, a mom, parent, a teacher, husband, wife. Like, you can do all these things and you can still smoke weed. And still be a pretty good person.
So, and that's like, even with my store, I wanted it to be like, how do you get somebody that's normally buying a bottle of wine, how do you get a sock to buy a joint instead of a bottle of wine? Right? Like, how do you make this comfortable? The people that were already consuming were doing it, but we want to bring this thing to everybody. this should be accessible. Everybody should be able to have this experience and have this relationship in their life, and like what it does for friendships and you know your home life, whatever. There's so many different varieties of how it can bring positive things into your life, and having that accessibility where it's at now with like the Canadian legal market is incredible, and it's so nice to be able to have that, like, get to see it grow, get to see
we dreamed of this.
Yeah, like we're getting to participate in something that's happening in front of our eyes, and I laugh all the time.
Yeah,
because it's crazy.
Something that was so taboo just a few years ago.
Yeah, like the opportunity for you and me to be able to spend this time together, and the fact that like out of all the odds, we managed to get involved in the same industry,
in the same
right?
space.
Like in the same space, different directions,
totally.
but we're in the space, and
here we are.
There's so much crossover, and it just made it so easy for us. Like, yeah, I think we can talk about the thing that we talk about every day already, right?
Yeah.
Like it seemed to make sense.
Now together.
Yes.
Yeah. It's pretty dang awesome, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, any comments, concerns, go ahead, leave them in the comments section below. We love listening to you guys. We have a website. Make sure you guys check that out. We'll leave that in the description below as well. Until next time, probably see you in a week from now, huh? Good, happy, my man. Peace.
Good, mate. We gotta keep
I gotta pee.
a timer going.
How long?